Hey everybody, and welcome back. We're here on Rocky Mountain Farms, and the map is now released. I thought I would do a little stream to, guess, celebrate that occasion. And here we are. Going to go ahead and keep on playing with our test game save. The most recent test version that I have is pretty much the final version as far as I know. So. Oh no. Not get in here. Hey Perrin, what's up? Oh, I guess I can't. That's alright. There's Parker here. So, what's up tonight, Perrin? Not much. Kind of late getting the stream scheduled up. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do tonight. Had a couple options. Was going to do the Valley of the Old Farm, but it's in the middle of the night over there, that server, so I didn't think that would be too terrible exciting. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Then I was going to then do off Bergman, but I really didn't have too much going on over there, so I went ahead and decided, well, you know what, let's just go ahead and do a little stream here of Rocky Mountain Farms, and talk about how the map is now out, and just kind of chill out and hang out. Hey Haggard, what's up? Doing pretty good. But I guess we could go down, we can mow that really cool big grass field. It kind of wraps around and goes all over the place. That. Off camera, I went ahead and finished harvesting everything. It's like I never put table manners in like I was. Oh, did you go and the mower's down? Have cleaned this out. Anything over here to clean this up? Yeah, we do. oversized forks here. Oh no, there's... know how to get in. What's everybody up to on this fabulous hump day? Okay. Guys up there. Back in. Hey Fabio, what's up? Hey Huntmaster. Thanks for coming out. There we go. That's good to hear. Can't take a break now. Now it's busy season. Right? That's what winter's for. There we are. No, you don't want to get a Dollywood in the middle of the winter. Be a little cold there. See what kind of mods we got in here for a mower. Oh, stuff. This guy. Pigs could use some food. That. See what we got to mow some grass with. Old haybine. So we've got the front mower, we'll just use the back. Hey Johnny, what's up? I saw you got your drive replaced. The software that came with it was handy. I know you saw that the map's out. Oh, I guess we should pick that up too. There we go. We got much larger capacity now on this than before. How many cows do you got there? How many cows make a herd? This is here to, so we know where it is. All right, let's go. Thanks for the sub, Mod Addict. Should be somewhere around 3,300 by now, I think. Remember, pretty close earlier today. So you just put the extra drive in and just ran the software? And that moved your main drive over to the new one? Is a fair number of cows you got there. So, we were testing some of the silos here, and we brought the Farm King out and hooked it up here, and so this silo took corn. So we were able to put a little bit of corn in it before, well, we had a little problem. Lost part of the field due to crop withering. Oh, okay. Yeah, we were testing this map last week and through the weekend, and the map was officially released last night for PCSG, so it is now out and available to the public. Should be a link in the description. It's a fun little interesting map. The fields are not overly big, so you don't really need big equipment or big time commitment to do it. And if you play with seasons, it's going to be quite the challenge with seasons because of the custom weather that is in on the map. You can see the corn. Get up in there. You can see the corn going in the top. And if we come over here, oh, must have just already. We got 19,000. Hey, Raznik, what's up? Just park you up the hill. Well, I guess you are an addict of mods. So, yeah. Ah, you're playing, what's that? Are you doing that, FSUK map? I don't know how you pronounce it. I haven't looked at that one yet. Hey, Grandpa Gaming, what's up? Haven't seen you around for a while. Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays are typically the days that I use to do recordings, or other catch-up work. But and I was planning on doing a couple map videos tomorrow. Gotta do an official map video now on this one. And I gotta do a map video on, well, that one there, chat. Also have Maplewood from Lancey Boy. Gotta do a video on that one. And I think there's one more now. I got 3 or 4 that I need to do map videos on. And but we also need to get back over to the Valley of the Old Farm. We're back into spring finally on that map, and I was going to stream that tonight actually, but it's currently midnight on the map, so timing didn't work out so much for us. So I thought, well, you know, instead of streaming in the middle of the night for the entire duration of the stream, what if came over here and just had a little map party premiere? No, Rockhound's not done his new map yet. It's not one to do. He did just yesterday upload Serenity Valley Rise of Industry, which isn't a new map. It's just new to PCSG. He had it released on his Facebook for quite a long time, and I had the idea, like, hey, maybe PCSG would get some more visibility and kind of rejuvenate interest in that map, and so he put it up there. Yeah, he's got, well, this is it. You know, it's an interesting little affair. It's set in the Rocky Mountains, just south of Canada. So the weather geo that is in is pretty brutal. In fact, you start up seasons. You start with like eight layers of snow or something. So it's quite brutal. And the built-in geo, you have basically one seasonal transition to you have one seasonal transition to what am I wanting to say? To plant your crops. Oops. Wondering why I wasn't getting a windrow out of the middle there. So you have one seasonal transition to plant your grain crops, and that is late spring. You have one seasonal transition to plant corn or soybeans if the ground is lucky enough to get warm enough, and that is early spring. So that's the only time you have to plant. And just like a very narrow planting window, you have a very narrow harvest window. And you may never see 50-degree ground temp to plant corn or soybeans. So this map may be one of those cereal only maps where all you plant is wheat and barley. Now this is a grass field. This is field 20 is grass. This is the same grass as over on Emerald Coast. It's just not as yellow. Oh, we gotta watch out. This grass field I wanted to mow since I saw it the other day. Man, this is not the field for a round baler. This is not a round bale map. It's also not a map you want to play more realistic on. All these hills. I think you'd have to buy the big bud just so you could whoa. You'd have to buy the big bud just so you could get up the hills. You'll see the grass texture. This is clearly a different grass texture. It's just a typical custom grass texture you see on maps. See, this is not mowable. This is what I call Will's signature indestructible grass. He puts all over. Now that is higher hills. Higher hills. The whole map is a bowl with the farm at the bottom. That's the map for. That's the map for the round baler. You can see how this grass has a different appearance to it. So anytime you see this type of grass, you know you can mow it. If you run with crop destruction, if you drive over the grass, and it doesn't, die back, then you know it's non-destructible. Look at that. It's a serious hill there. Hey Darren, do you know much about creating a DEM for the editor? Tried to use Dirty Tractor Doctor's videos to make one, and well, I get to like video 4 or 5, and then I get completely lost. I was going through the process, thought I had everything the way he'd done it, and when I finally could see, what should be the topography, of everything, everything looked fairly flat, and the area that I was doing was far from flat. So I was like, a little confused. I got hung up where he started talking about colors. And being someone that's half colorblind to begin with, it's not necessarily the best, the best thing to be messing with. But I was kind of surprised because I went out searching Google, and I didn't really find too many videos out there other than his on doing it. So it's kind of interesting too. Alright, Mod Addict. Catch you later. I don't know. I started to think maybe I had too many points. And running that one process that's supposed to, I guess, smooth the areas out between the points. Started thinking, well, maybe if I have too many points, then it just smooths everything flatter than it should be. I don't know. I think we're gonna use the square baler on this one. Oops. This is what I wanted to do. I want to do a little mowing in cab and get that first person perspective of the elevation drop-offs. Oh, look at that hill we gotta climb. Not a wimpy tractor either. Yeah, I didn't get to that part. I stopped where he jumped in the editor and started doing, I don't know, square stacks or something. Because the video before, he was in some GIS application, and he basically ran a process that made a grayscale, I guess representation of the elevations, and that's as far as I had gotten. But his showed a fair bit of elevation change, whereas the one that I had gotten didn't really look all that changing in elevations to me, and the area should have had some pretty significant elevation changes. It's only HD bales. It's only the little baby bales at the chicken area. That's because the chickens take so little straw that you might as well just use the little bales. If you used the big bales, you probably wouldn't have to give them straw for like a year. I just started thinking that there's got to be a better way to do it than that, with respect to going in the editor and making a bunch of elevation stacks, and then grabbing the RGB codes off of the elevation stacks, and then somehow translating those RGB codes over to the other thing. Is just like, are you kidding me? I wonder what kind of windrower tedder I have in here. It's definitely going to be a new system indeed. I'm thinking it's going to be a little harder to do maps in 19 because you're going to have to, you're going to have to build out your starter farm like you do now for the new farmer difficulty. But then with the other difficulties, you know, that area is going to be void of nothing. So, you know, it's going to be, I don't know. Of course, you still have to define your fields and everything, probably for the hired helpers, but you also then define your regions to purchase and whatnot. All right. Let's see what other grass fields. Two. Still need. Did 6. Up and do. I'd say it's almost almost willing to run a bet as to how long it's going to be before Stevie has a 19 map out. Once 19 hits in the editor and the base maps are able to be exported. And he is a oh, we already mowed that. I remember now. Oh, I guess we didn't mow all of it. We used the forage wagon on this to collect a load of grass, get our silo running. That's right. He's a map making machine, but he also, and seems like every other week there's an update to the map that requires a new game save. There's some seriously dedicated Stevie map players that are willing to restart every couple weeks. That is for sure. What's Darren been up to? Caught Reefy's last video earlier today. I guess I could have done Emerald Coast tonight, but I didn't even think about it. So tomorrow I might be over on the Valley of the Old Farm. It depends on what time of day it is on the server. Said I was going to stream that tonight, but it's midnight over there. Not a really good time to be streaming on the server. You getting a lot of rain up there? I think it may have ceased down here, at least for the temporarily. So are you doing this with seasons? And if so, what's your duration? What's your length? Come up here and work some of these fields. Plant them or cultivate them or something. We did discover that the fillable gas stations are a little particular with the Cote fuel tanker. Seemed like it only filled them from one side. Very interesting. Basically, the side that was I think it was the side opposite the hose that was on the tank. Went and filled the Shell Cote tank. Took it up to a fuel tank at the farm to fill, and put about half of a tank in it, half of the trailer load, and discovered that nothing was going in the fuel tank. Fuel tank wasn't registering anything. So then CCS 101 basically fired up his version and validated that it was working for him. So I was like, well, let's try some other things. So I turned the tanker around, and it worked from the other side. Very interesting. Not sure why it would only work one direction. But if you're using the Cote tank and you're trying to fill these fuel tanks, if the tractor or truck engine doesn't turn off when you go to fill, then it's not working. It's part of the script is to cut off the engine. Actually, this field actually has mobile grass on both sides of the road. Not a lot of grass over here, but there's some. And it's fertilizable, so you'll be able to get a greater yield. There, we ran out of that grass. And unlike Unlike other maps where you might want to mow the grass that's in the cow pasture, you don't want to do that on this map because of the graze mod. You go and mow the grass on the cow pasture, you're basically stealing food from your cows. Because the game script will discover that there isn't grass there to feed them anymore with, and will stop filling the trough. That's something to be wary of. That. Check the description. There's a link in the description to the map. It's over at PCSG. A pretty nice sized grass field too for the map. Given the size of the fields on the map, this is a pretty nice sized plot of grass for sure. Back down into that pond or that reservoir there and get free water also. Not that you need water for your animals, but you'll need it for your industry, for your greenhouses. Hey DC, what's up? Oh, I'm pretty good. Just playing a little bit Rocky Mountain Farms, and letting everybody know that if they didn't realize it, the map has been released over at PCSG. So I know there was a decent amount of interest when we were doing our testing streams. So I thought I would do a stream here, and now that the map's officially released, as a what I'm calling a launch party. Hey Zach, what's up? Thought about firing up seasons and starting the game on seasons for tonight. But I realized all I would do would basically be getting rid of snow and fast forwarding time until the snow wasn't there anymore. He didn't go with giants because the map's too big. All his maps seem to be a lot larger than the maximum file requirements for giants uploads. I think Giant's maximum file size is like 768 megs or something. It's 700 and some megs, and this map I think is at like 1.1 gigs. Most of it's the custom textures that are on the map, the custom foliage layers, the additional foliage layers. All that seemed to add up to larger file size. I mean, even Churn Farms was like 1.2 gigs or something. Midtown was like 1.5 or so. Emerald Coast is up there, 1.2, 1.3. So all those maps are pretty sizable files. Yeah, things that make it look better, make the files bigger. I mean, Frontier Designs does a heck of a job in optimizing their textures. You get the kinds of details that they get for the file size that they get. But it's also by no means the largest map that I've had the pleasure of downloading and looking at. I think just the other day I downloaded a map that was like 2 gigs, and it was insane. And well, it wasn't worth the 2 gig download that I spent on it. It's a nice size field. Should get plenty of good bales off of this. Hey Patty, what's up? Thanks for coming by. Another loop. What maps are you playing, Patty? Zach, what are you playing? Pretty sure I know what DC's playing, but I'll ask you too. What are you playing, DC? Level 1. So what's level 1? My guess is Lone Oak. I thought that's what I remember hearing, seeing that you were playing. I might be mistaken. Well, Duck should be back streaming shortly, I hope. He took one of those European vacations that lasts like a month, and made his way over to America, and spent some time in LA, and then went down to Mexico apparently. But as I understand it, he should be on a flight right now, going the wrong direction, back to his homeland. So, depending on, I think he said depending on how he feels, maybe a Friday stream, which would be, I guess, tomorrow morning, our time. EP's EP, he just comes and goes. Never know. And Grizzly is, I guess, taking a leave of absence. This is his busy travel time for work. And he's got a European vacation of his own coming up. So he was pretty much planning on hanging up the recordings until he got back from that. Thanks for the sub, Patty. I was asking you what maps you were playing on Farm Sim, which is why level 1 didn't seem to make any sense. Alright. These mowers away. Figure out what we're going to use for a rake and tedder. Oh, there's a cedar. We might use that. How about that? There we go. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, just your standard tedders. Nothing exciting. And let's go play with the Merge Max, just because it's fun. Oh, hey, Black Eagle. I like the map a lot. If I wasn't so full of projects, I would probably play some on it more. Hey John, what's up? Yeah, I've got about 10 hours of testing at this point on the map, testing and playing. But you know, I'm kind of full up with projects, so I really don't have the slot to fall in love with it. Because I definitely don't want to fall in love with a map that I won't be able to play on. But it's a very interesting map that would be very challenging to play with seasons, simply because of the built-in geo that is in on the map. Got easily have early snow, which could potentially affect your ability to harvest, to get your harvest in. Notwithstanding the fact that you might have a problem getting the ground warm enough to put the crops in that you want to plant. You may have to give up the idea of planting corn or soybeans because they never get warm enough in time, because you have such a very narrow window to this is a we'll use it. You have such a very narrow planting window to get anything done. Oh, you're playing Farm Sim 15. Well, I think it would be some pretty tough going there, Raznik, to play Farm Sim like that now. With the wonderful view counts that I get, you know, I'm able to probably take the family out to dinner maybe once every 3 months. So I guess if you were a 14-year-old, you could probably live off of Farm Sim with that. I think the heyday of making a ton of money off of YouTube is gone. Just with the ad rates are so low because of the ad rates are so low because I guess the ad displays are so dispersed across all kinds of content. Speaking of which, I saw a ad for the Aquaman movie. Looked remotely interesting. Not a big comic book movie fan, but looked halfway interesting. Oh, no, I don't need a tip. So we should come over here and bale this straw too at some point. Baled enough of that straw to do the little baby bales. That's about it. Right. Now let's go Ted that hilly field. Thanks, Patty. Need to get pig food. Whoa! We get some pig food over here to our pigs. Need to clean them up too, I guess. Sure, our greenhouses are full. All kinds of stuff in. Oh, there we go. Off we go. Yeah, like this, there's a little dip here where we got cat's tails in there. That's pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting, you know, bit of detail there. The cat's tails are a custom foliage layer. Not a lot of trees to go around. You're kind of up here in the maybe the fringe of the what's the tree line? Yeah, the fringe of where the tree line is. Get up in the mountains enough, and there's no more trees. Kind of, I guess, close to that point. And brings up an interesting mod I saw in the testing thread today. There was a mod in the testing thread that was a basically to plant your saplings by hand as opposed to using the tree planter or the poplar planter to put saplings in the ground. That'll bring an interesting dynamic to not just this map, but any map where you have to where you can just walk around and free plant saplings just wherever as you stroll around. We're on Rocky Mountain Farms. For some reason I keep wanting to say a different name. It's Rocky Mountain Farms. No, no John Denver. I'll get a copyright hit for that one for sure. Speaking of copyright, I got another darn copyright hit on Rathlin Island the other day. Those stupid seagulls. There's apparently some song out there that has seagulls in it, and YouTube keeps flagging certain videos of mine on Rathlin that have the seagulls in it as it's basically being copyrighted material. And I keep informing them that no matter how uppity the recording industry thinks they are, they don't seem to have the right to record a living creature's sound and copyright it, because I do believe that the seagulls had a very good case for prior art on their own squawking. And each time I dispute this, it gets dropped. And lo and behold, a couple weeks later, this video is got copyrighted material in it, and it's the exact same song again. Click on the what they determine as the offensive section of the video, and it's seagulls squawking once again at the seashore. Just waiting for an intrepidous lawyer to decide to pick up the seagulls case and file a class action lawsuit against the recording industry for damages, and seek retribution in the form of monetary payout for any and all profits that the recording industry has benefited from as a result of their squawking. Given the state of our legal system, I think the seagulls would have a case and probably win. I can tell you that they wouldn't recoup too much off of views of Rathlin Island videos. Say the hands down the videos that turn the most buck are the map videos and some of the how-to videos. And they still maybe turn $5 for the best videos a month. So if you know, if they wanna try to collect the monetization off of the Rathlin video, they're probably going to be getting like 25 cents. Yeah, see, they can't afford an attorney, so they just get a public defender, and that's not going to do them any. They also have to pay for a. They also have to pay for a, you know, a translator. And seagull to English translators are pretty expensive. That field done. Hey Anthony, what's up? Just hanging out. You know, what's interesting is it's the same seagulls that's on the west coast. Go down by the seashore. And so I approached Bullet Bill about it. I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure the seagulls that are in Rathlin Island are the same seagulls that are in West Coast. Where by chance did you get the audio clip? Because I've got this recording company that's saying that I am using copyrighted recordings. And he told me, well, he's pretty darn sure he got it from the what is that app? And I can't think of it now. It's oh shoot. Can't think of it. Like having writer's block. But you know, it turns out that the recordings came from a one of those, you know, royalty-free audio recording sites. So it's like, okay. So obviously we didn't sample. Definitely a senior moment. We didn't sample the seagulls from anything. I was hoping he'd tell me that he went out to the shore and actually recorded them himself, but no. Yeah, there's square bale stacks in there. I was trying to think if the bale stacks that are in the cow barn are square or round. I'm pretty sure they're square. Be able to use our square baler. Put them on. You back, Patty? I thought you were gone, but okay. Welcome back. Pigs some food. They are rather angry up there. They're all in the red. That's the other thing that's interesting with the map is you start out with some animals. So if you play with seasons. That's it. Yeah, Sandy Bay, that's the map I was thinking about. Steering. Let's cheat a little bit. That's it. Set. 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 There we go. No. I'm gonna sell those arms and get smaller ones. There we go. These arms will fit a bit better. Still look a little big, but okay. Alright, let's go find a tipper. No. We got money. Right, we got money. Alright, let's go fill this up with pig food. You need to know where the pig food is if you are going to be keeping your pigs on the map, because you very well might not be able to plant corn. Definitely can't plant sunflowers on the map, just if you play with seasons. I hear with 19 that there's going to be wind. You normally don't play on hard mode? Oh, wow. Thought for sure you would be a hard mode elite. But here on FS19, supposed to be wind. As I was looking at that that wind turbine, and I was thinking to myself, it would be pretty cool if that would rotate around and periodically just be you know, positioned at a different angle. Let's see, where that pig food back here. Alphabet. That is, of course, knows what season's going to do with them. I wonder if seasons will treat them like grass and destroy them, or if or since it doesn't know what they are, maybe it'll just keep them. $500, $1 a liter for pig food. That's cheaper than growing your food, I think. $1 a liter for pig food. Well, Fred, you could, if you know how to do GE work, you could do that right now. You could go in the editor and delete out all the farm buildings and put down your own. Okay, fit was rot. Yeah. Makes more sense. You went in the editor and deleted out all the farm buildings, then you would be limited to just placeables. Or you could just then put down your own building. Probably not, Alan, but it's hard to say what kind of hidden surprises Giants might have up their sleeve for 19. I mean, in theory, they could bake it in. They have stated no GPS, other than I think maybe GPS, the GPS model, I think is an available configurable option, but that doesn't necessarily involve invoking the actual GPS functionality. You have weeds growing on Mountain Valley? Not Mountain Valley, yeah. Willow River? It could be. Hire the dog and it follows you around. Could be an interesting hint and play on words. Here's where I was testing the before we do that, let's clean up. If I go and dump a whole bunch of food in there, we won't be able to clean up. Hey, Silver Dragon, what's up? Say one of the most exciting things I think is is the 3D renderings in the shop. Be able to see live what your model will look like with the options that you have selected. It's like gone are the days of buying 5 or 6 of something just to figure out which one you like. It's like the 8 tire rims that are available on the trucks, pickup trucks, and I never remember which ones I like. So I end up just guessing. Oh man. And in the end, never getting the one that I really want. Alright. This. There we go. Pigs are no longer all in the red. Yeah, that'll be nice when you put in a mod that's just got German junk written for the options. Then you can basically click and say, oh, I like that. I don't know what it means, but I like that. Oh, you're making a jump? I tell you, the one thing to caution you against is going mod crazy. It's pretty easy to go mod crazy. Unlike console, not all PC mods are safe to put in. There's some pretty nasty ones out there that just completely corrupt things. Some very good PC mods, and then there are some very bad ones. That's the big thing is making sure that you got fairly trusted sources for your mods. There's even more bad PC maps than there are good. That's for sure. Mod crazy will happen. It's almost inevitable, right? But you won't have that slot count thing either. That whole slot count thing of everything you activate has it's got something hanging over your head. The bail limit, that's something wacky too. Something like what, 200 bales or something, and then you can't make any more. Yeah, I watched that video. That was a pretty good vid. At least if it was the one that was released like a week or so ago. You also have that, Darren, the ability to, with practice, go in and tweak your own stuff. I know, right? Can't have that many animals if you only got 200 bales or whatever that limit is. Definitely no limits on the PC side, other than what your system can, you know, can handle at decent frame rates. Water trough mod is indeed wonderful. I don't know what I would do with Rathland with nearly 1,000 sheep if I didn't have the water trough mod. Spend half a day every 3 days just hauling water back and forth. Or I'd have to buy a big tractor like this just to haul the water tanker that would hold enough water for one fill. They do. Well, I need hay for my TMR for my cows. I don't need to feed the sheep at all because the graze mod is on the map. And the graze mod means the sheep eat grass out of the pasture. So as long as I don't have too many sheep, I don't have to feed them. All I have to do is water them till winter. And when winter comes, I'll just give them some hay bales. But it's mostly because for the last year I've played with seasons pretty much exclusively. And as a result, the idea of making grass bales has completely left my head. There's no purpose in grass in seasons with seasons play other than feeding them grass that they need separate of you know, hay. But the idea of making a grass bale with seasons, it's like there's no purpose. Doesn't stick around long enough. Now I don't have seasons on this at the moment, and that's because we were just doing map testing. And with this geo that is built into the map, it's pretty brutal, and there wouldn't really be much to test other than how to plow snow for a significant portion of the spring. If we look here at our animals, see the sheep have plenty of grass and the cows have plenty of grass. We've never fed these guys grass at all. Never put grass in their troughs. But that's because when we got here we can see cows have 25,000 liters of grass out here to eat. And the sheep have 43,000 liters of grass. So as they eat, the grass levels in the pasture go down. As long as we keep the animal count below the amount of grass that can support them in the pasture, we never have to feed them grass. Completely, absolutely ingenious mod. Wonderful ideas. Combine the water trough mod with the graze mod, and sheep are basically carefree. Every few days you just walk up, you hit R on the water trough, it fills it, you walk away, collect your wool. It's like easy money. The only time you have to feed them anything, which you could feed them hay, be over winter and early spring. We go back to the shop and get our windrower. Sometimes I think to myself, I can just imagine what Mr. Sealy P would say to, with respect to some of these mods, if they were ever to find their way into a map that was out for console. He would probably be, I don't know, overjoyed or giddy beyond belief with the likes of the water trough or the graze mod. I like to watch him play because him being on console, sometimes he comes up with the most interesting contraptions. I haven't had a chance to see any live video. $15X does make you work. Indeed. Makes you plan out your day. Not enough time really to be just sitting around wondering, oh man, what am I going to do next? Really makes you have to plan it out. Oh yeah, I saw his I saw some of his farm videos, yeah. Where he did some like farm day thing where you go and you know, use real farm equipment. I saw those. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? Work mode left, work mode right. There we go. Wish these wings on the, or not the wings, but those side panels to say coon. Wish those side panels would fold in if they weren't the side that you were outputting to. I know they're there to, in theory, stop the hay from flying way out. But you know, the one here on the left doesn't need to be out like that. if we're not shooting it out to the left. I wish when we shot out to the right, the one on the left kind of slid in. If we shot out to the left, the one on the right would slide in. If we merged to the middle, they both slid in. That would be nice. The map does have to be prepared for the Graze mod. Basically, you have to go in and paint in the editor a well, I don't know how to describe it. Basically, you paint a mask. That's it. You paint a mask over the pasture area, and then you define that mask as if it was a field. And then you basically set it up a very specific way in the editor so that the Graze mod recognizes it as the appropriate mask and field IDs or whatever. Then you put the scripts in and all of that. So it's not a drop-in mod that you just drop in and activate. The reason you paint the area because mod needs to know how big the grazing area is in order to calculate out how much grass is potentially in that area. Now, I know Real Logger was supposed to be working on a new version of the Graze mod that worked a little bit better with respect to let's do that up, let's change it to left. So I know Real Logger was supposedly working on a new model or a new version of the Graze mod that would work better with the animal add-on. The animal add-on is what lets you have more than one set of cows, sheep, and pigs. But I haven't heard too much since the Graze mod came out about that. Hey, Gunslingers, what's up? I have not done a Graze mod video because I'm not that familiar with the editor when it comes to defining field areas. The directions seem to make total sense until you get to the point where it talks about defining the corners of the field, the pasture area. And then the directions kind of go vague. At least they seem to go vague for me. You know, like, well, you obviously know how to do this, so just go do it. And it's like, okay, well, how do I do that? And no, I didn't watch his videos, Shy Wizards. Hey Raznik, if you never used this merger, you should play with it. It's fun. Be able to shoot out to the left, shoot out to the right, or shoot out to the middle. Thank you. What is it? Is it egg zooming? Zooming? tomorrow's video is going to be a rather interesting little American map. When I say little, I mean the fields are little. Biggest field might be 2 hectares in size. A very small American-ish map. Excellent for the Farming Classics pack or the Modern Classics DLC. Reminds me very much of what a rural, small family farming area would look like. Alright, check you later, Alan. Thanks for coming out. Well, there we go. Shifted direction on the belt, and now we're shooting it the other direction. Merge a few of these windrows together like this. I don't remember the name of the map. I did the video last week. Man. What do you think? I couldn't even remember the name of Sandy Bay. I got old man forgetfulness. I think it has the Graze mod installed too. Yeah, I saw it. I just didn't read it out. Stevie's got some new industries. Thought about doing another video with one of his newer updated maps. Just haven't gotten to it. Go. It's less than 7 hours. Okay? Less than 7 hours, it will be out. I'm sure you could go look on the playlist. It probably shows it as unavailable. Welcome back, Patty. We're just about done. I'm going to try to windrow the rest of this field, and then I'm going to start baling it. Oh, Hoff is going pretty good. We are nearing the end of our self-stipulated autumn. Since we had to take seasons out, we kind of established some parameters where we're pretending seasons is still active, and pretending that a week is a season. And as such, this week is autumn. So we're allowed to do one cut of grass during this week. We're allowed to harvest any crop that we might have ready to harvest, with the exception of poplar. We can't harvest poplar. We can plant no crops this week, if I'm remembering right. And we can do field work. Yeah, we had to take seasons out because it was causing some weird behavior when we fed the extra animals. Like if we went to the PDA here, this was all messed up, and most of our implements were gone. So I don't know. I went to the forums, and I was reading through the support thread for the map, and basically there was several entries where they basically said that in multiplayer, seasons was not supported, that the map relied on too many things that were based to the map in multiplayer mode, that seasons just wouldn't work. So we took that out, and instead just are pretending. So like next week is winter. So during winter we cannot harvest anything but poplar. We can only do field work, and we can only plant wheat, barley, or canola. And of course we can keep our industries running. In following week after that is spring. So obviously in spring we can make one cut of grass. We can plant any crop other than corn or soybeans. And we cannot harvest anything, regardless if it's ready to harvest or not. Then the week of spring, or the week of summer, we can harvest anything we want that's available. We can plant our corn and soybeans. So basically we're trying to emulate what seasons would do, just without the seasons being activated. "29 different crop types on that map." There are a ton of things to do, and there's a ton of crops indeed. Yeah, I think the map probably behaves a lot better in single player, because in single player you're shutting the map down more frequently. You know, you might have the game up for a couple hours at a time, and then you shut it down. In the act of shutting it down, obviously the next time you come to it, it boots it up and, you know, starts everything back up. But we found it to be a little glitchy, as you said, in multiplayer, because sometimes the various industry scripts don't want to reset. Like Raz has the greenhouses, and it seems that lots of times his cabbages don't want to reset without resetting the server. So he'll grow a set of cabbages. He'll pick them up manually, not with autoloader, but he'll pick them up manually. And then the cabbage patches, cabbage patch, the cabbage patches won't reset to recognize that he's picked them up till the server restarts. But it's still fun. You know, we've run into some issues here and there. I think some of it is just way too many vehicles and implements on the map. When you take into account everything else that is on the map. I mean, like right now I've got probably 30 crates of chickens that I need to sell, but I couldn't sell because earlier in the day the sell points were closed. I couldn't go and sell them, but I have them. I've got 20 cans of milk to sell, but again, the stores that sold milk weren't open. Now they're open now. So in fact, after this stream, I'm going to jump in and sell some stuff off. But if you think that those, if you consider those things as basically being the equivalent of a whole bunch of hay bales on the map, you know, the garbage bags that just auto spawn, they, if you don't pick them up with regularity, they do anything to the game. Milk crates, cabbages, other greenhouse pallets, pallets of compost, pallets of fertilizer, pallets of seed, pallets of this, pallets of that. It all goes into, they're all individual items tracked in the vehicles file. For all things that the game has to keep track of with respect to collisions and whatnot. So it can be kind of intensive, and we're trying to get across to folks that multiplayer is not single player, and while you might be able to get away with hoarding stuff until a great demand in single player, it's probably best in multiplayer to sell as soon as you can, as soon as you have it, just to keep the experience running nice and smooth. A little bit of extra money that you're going to get waiting for a decent great demand is far overshadowed by the potential in hindering performance. Alright, well, we are just about done. And we are just about at our, well, we are at our 2-hour clock. So once again, I have managed to figure out how to pretty much use up all 2 hours and actually get to a decent closing point. In all reality, I don't know if we're going to be back on the map at all in live stream format or recorded format, just because of the number of other things that I've got going on. Like I said, tomorrow I'm probably going to be on the Valley of the Old Farm, assuming it's daylight on the map when I would come in to stream. And if it is daylight, then we're going to be over on that map streaming, because it is now spring. We have spring field work to do on that map to prep for spring planting. And depending on what we get done and depending on what the weather is, we might or might not be in a scenario to be streaming on that map on Friday also. We'll see. Because like I said, we're kind of at a slow point on on Hofbergman, so we might not be streaming on Hofbergman for a week and a half or so. Really, until we get into winter. All right. So anyway, thanks for coming out and watching. And until next time, happy farming.